can probably holler at that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go without the mic, so I'll go now, and then maybe by the time the mic's back, and then people can go. This evening is supposed to be a tribute to, I guess, African women or women of the diaspora, and so I thought I would play tribute to Gwendolyn Brooks and do a couple of her pieces that I really, really enjoy. And then I'll do one of my own at the end to get there. So Blenman Brooks, she's born in 1917. She died at just 2000. So she spans 2 or 3 really important eras in terms of black literature and black culture and civil rights in the United States. She's part of the intellectual movement among blacks in the 40s, Harlem Renaissance, etc. But because she's so long-lived and because she had such a great influence, she also touched into the 60s and, of course, the civil rights movements of the 60s. And she's one of the few poets to be able to bridge that gap, to have the intellectual tradition from before the civil rights movement and then be part of the civil rights movement and then work on. And she was honored. So Gwendolyn Brooks is one of the most highly regarded and highly influential, widely read poets of the 20th century. She was much honored in her lifetime with distinctions of being the first black author to win the Pulitzer Prize. She was also a poetry consultant to the Library of Congress, and this was so long ago that it's actually the position of poet laureate today. So she's considered one of the first poet laureates, certainly the first black woman poet laureate of the United States. She's also poet laureate of the state of Illinois. She lived in Chicago until her death. Many of her works display a political consciousness, especially from the 60s and later, with several of her poems reflecting the civil rights activism of that period. She has a unique position in American letters. So I'm going to share 2 of her poems from her earlier works. One is entitled Gay Chaps at the Bar. So this is from the 40s. So the meaning of gay, of course, is the older meaning. And so these are, I believe the setup of this is these are 2 soldiers who have returned from the war. And so they fought for America, but now they're back on American soil. We knew how to order. Just the dash necessary. The length of gaiety is in good taste. Whether the realty should be slightly iced and given green or served up hot and lush. And we knew beautifully how to give to women the summer spread, the tropics of our love. When to persist or hold a hunger off. Knew white speech, knew how to make a look an omen. But nothing ever taught us to be islands. And smart athletic a language for this hour was not in the curriculum. No stout lesson showed us how to chat with death. We brought no brass fortissimo among our talents to holler down the lions in this air. And that was titled two Gay Chaps at the Bar. The second one is called Still Do I Keep My Look, My Identity. And she moves away from politics in this one, and I think talks in a more sensual tone about the body, meaning I think the physical body, as well as any metaphorical sense. Every body has its art, its precious prescribed pose, and even in passion's droll contortions, waltzes, or push of pain, when a grief has stabbed or hatred hacked, it's and nothing else's. Every body has its pose, no other stock that is irrevocable, perpetual, and had its to keep. In castle or in shack, with rags or robes, through nothing good or ill, and even in death a body like no other, on any hill or plain or crawling cot, or gentle for the lilyless hasty paw, having twisted, gagged, and then sweet ceased to bother, shows the old personal art, the look, shows what it showed at baseball, what it showed in school. So those are 2 by Gwendolyn Brooks. Now, no tribute to no tribute to Gwendolyn Brooks would be complete without We Real Cool. And it's one of her shorter poems, and probably the most famous one. I think we were told this last year, someone had featured it when we were talking about black poets as well, and how she wrote it as she was walking home from school behind some cool guys who spent all their time in the pool house. So it's for the pool players, 7 at the Golden Shovel. We real cool. We left school. We lurk late. We strike straight. We sing sin. We thin gin. We jazz June. We die